Do 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 do. No, that's not Harry Potter. Do 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 do. When I was a girl, I never had any interest in Harry Potter, even though some of my friends read it and loved it. I just never had any interest in it until I saw the movie, the first movie, on TV 2 Christmases ago, and then I thought, hey, this is kind of cool. So over this past summer of my 19th year, I read all the Harry Potter books, and I thought I would just share with you my feelings about them. But first, a synopsis of each book. Book 1, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, in which Harry Potter finds out that he's a wizard, plays a giant game of chess, and finds out the Dark Lords look stunning in turbans. Book 2, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, wherein Harry Potter fights a book. Book 3, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, wherein Harry Potter is stalked by a giant dog. I don't actually have a copy of The Goblet of Fire, which is bad because it's my favorite book. Oops. Book 4, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, wherein Harry Potter takes part in the Hunger Games and Hagrid gets a girlfriend. Book 5, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, wherein Harry Potter gets angry at everybody every other page. Book 6, Harry Potter and Dumbledore's Shriveled Hand, wherein Snape finally becomes Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher and we only get 1 chapter showing him as teacher. Book 7, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, wherein Harry Potter goes on a really long camping trip and everybody else dies. I thought I'd get my dislikes out of the way first so we can accentuate the positive. My first dislike is that every book has the same writing formula. It starts out with Harry Potter at his aunt and uncle and cousin's house. He then returns to Hogwarts. Something involving Lord Voldemort happens, and very slowly elements of the plot are revealed until the big reveal at the very end of the book within the last like 4 chapters, and then all is revealed. Kind of like an Agatha Christie book, which I give J.K. Rowling credit for following that formula because I think it's a good storytelling formula, but after reading it 7 books in a row, it kind of gets old. Another quibble I have with the series is there are occasional plot holes or illogical things that happen, but being that this is, at least it starts out as more of a children's series and it's more whimsical in nature, I think that if I would pick apart every single illogical thing that happened, I would not enjoy the series anymore. So I think it's important to keep an open mind and remember that this is just fiction. Perhaps my biggest problem with the Harry Potter series is Harry Potter's attitude towards some of the adults. He grows up in kind of an abusive family. The Dursleys, his aunt and uncle and cousin, really don't love him, and they're always mentally abusing him, I guess. They stick him in a cupboard, and they always talk down to him. Dudley, his cousin, is a big bully towards Harry Potter. And most people, Harry Potter's a really nice kid, but to certain characters, he's a bully, and you know, attitude is a choice. Even if somebody is mean to you and even if somebody bullies you, it's your choice whether you bully them back or whether you choose to forgive them, move on, and still be nice to them. Harry Potter isn't nice to the characters who aren't nice to him. He's actually quite mean to them sometimes and very disrespectful to some of his teachers, like Professor Snape, which I just don't condone that behavior. I can understand why he would do that because he himself has been hurt by people, but still, attitude is a choice, and it's always good to be respectful to grown-ups. Now some minor problems with the books. There are so many names to remember, and even though the names are amazing, sometimes they're just so out there that when they come back in like a later book, it's like, who is this person again? And J.K. Rowling does a really great job reminding you of who is who, but it still can be kind of confusing sometimes. Book 6 I felt was really rushed. I think it could have been expanded on a little bit more. We hardly get to see Snape teaching as Defense Against the Arts teacher, which is a position he's wanted for the first 5 books, and when he finally gets it, we only get like 1 or 2 chapters exploring him as a teacher in that subject. And I would have liked to see more of that, and I would have liked to see more expansion just in the plot in general, kind of like in the 2 preceding books. And then something I feel like I should mention is occasionally the characters swear, occasionally they notice girls and kiss girls and stuff like that, which, I mean, that doesn't really bother me, but I don't know, I felt like I should mention it anyway. And I also feel like I should mention witchcraft. I come from a Christian home, and a lot of my peers haven't read Harry Potter or had hesitations about reading Harry Potter because of the witchcraft, because, I mean, Hogwarts is a school for witchcraft and wizardry. But I didn't really see it as a problem because there is a very clear line between good magic and bad magic. There's a very clear line between good and evil in these books, and I just really didn't see a problem with the magic aspect of it. I had more of a problem with the characters' attitudes and respect for the grown-ups, like I said earlier. So now on to my likes. One thing that I absolutely loved about Harry Potter is the names. I mean, J.K. Rowling just has the most fantastic names, like for places, for people, for spells, for things. I mean, just fantastic. Like the wizard kind of shopping street is called Diagon Alley, which, if you say it really quickly, is diagonally, which I just think is super cool. And then just like the names of some of the characters, Luna Lovegood, Severus Snape, Draco Malfoy, Hermione Granger, like you can kind of tell if somebody's good or if somebody's bad by their name. Like Voldemort sounds like an evil name, but like Harry Potter's just like, oh, that guy sounds like a normal kid or whatever. Not that he's a normal kid, but you know what I mean. Another thing I loved about Harry Potter, this is probably my favorite thing about the Harry Potter books, is the cohesive and immersive world that J.K. Rowling has created. She has wizard streets, she has wizard celebrities, she has wizard sports, she's got wizard school subjects. Like, it's just, it totally immerses you in the world of wizardry, and it's like, man, I want to go to Hogwarts. And when I was a kid, I loved the Warriors series by Aaron Hunter, and me and my friends would just go on and on and on creating our own warrior clans. I feel like Harry Potter's kind of the same thing, where if I was younger, I would have just loved this series. I would have come up with all my own characters and inserted them into the plot line. I would have put myself into the place of the world, so I love that aspect of the books. Another thing I love about Harry Potter is the fandom. Like, there are several franchises that I just love the fandom better than the actual franchise, and one is the Sherlock BBC TV show. I love Sherlock, but I love the fandom even more, and because they're just so creative and so funny. This is my dog, she keeps making weird noises. And then Harry Potter, I love the Harry Potter books, but the Harry Potter fandom is just so creative at coming up with like headcanons and stuff, and I just really love the fandom for that. The characters in Harry Potter are very consistent, and yet they grow over the books, which I love it when characters are consistent. You can see that it's still the same character even though they've grown. I love that we get to grow up with Harry over the course of the 7 books. We start out with Harry when he's 11 and end when he's 17, so we get to see him go through his teenage years and face a lot of things that teenagers have to deal with. And we see him face a lot of complex emotions, which I just really love. Like, J.K. Rowling does an excellent job of describing different emotions like anger or love. One thing that I love, kind of along with the consistent character traits, is the consistency of the details of the book. Like, things that happen in the first book will show up in later books, or like things or places or little details that you wouldn't think would come back do come back in the later books, and I just love that. Like, little consistent details like that, like they just make my heart beat faster, because I just think it's excellent writing when you bring back things that were in earlier books, and it's like, man, I remember that. Like, they don't have to be in there, but they just enhance the book so much more. The final thing that I really love about Harry Potter is the very clear line between good and between evil. Like, the good characters are good, the evil characters are evil. I mean, there's just very clear lines between the two, and the only exception is Snape. And he kind of, I like to steal Josh Sundquist's phrase, he oscillates between the two. Sometimes you're like, oh, he's good. Other times you're like, I think he's bad. Those are my thoughts on Harry Potter, and I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah. Live long and prosper. My dog is making weird noises, I'm sorry. Book 4, Harry Potter and the Goblet of... Oops. Okay, stop. Got my clipboard with my notes. And my two favorite characters are introduced. Yay, Lupin and, Sirius. Yeah. Whoops, forgot his name. Harry Potter, Harry Potter. Ooh, Harry Potter.